Hello, I'm Beryl Dacres. Welcome to Palmetto Scene. It is officially spring, and it's beginning to look as though brighter days are ahead as we now see a light at the end of that long COVID 19 tunnel. One major event that fell victim to the pandemic was the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo, Japan. Closing the gates of this historic event crushed the Olympic dreams of many young athletes across the globe. But this new year brings renewed hope as one young athlete continues to push through the obstacles in an effort to ensure that a dream delayed is not a dream denied.
I think the feeling that I get inside when I'm out competing, I can't explain it. It's as if you like skydiving for the first time. It's just exciting at the same time, but very scary. You know, it's like hot and cold. You're feeling all those emotions at the same time. But the instant that the gun goes off, all of those emotions just disappeared, and now you don't feel any of it. You just numb to it, and now you're just running. I was very young when I left Haiti, so I did not really experience like the hardship there as much because when you're young, your parents care for you and stuff like that. So, but I mean, I know how hard it can be, and I still know till this day. And with not having work and stuff like that, apart from that, it's really like a great country. I think the people are like they're very nice. They do look out for each other as well when they can. I think it's a community. Originally, I had committed to the University of Kentucky, and the coach had transferred, and I didn't want to stay there anymore. So I went on the hunt again, trying to find another school that I'd feel like would be a home for me. And then I found here. Here, I felt really at home. So the instant that Coach D picked me up from the airport, I'm like, wow, this really feels at home. I can actually see myself living here.
We were really excited as a coaching staff that she was coming, not knowing how great she was going to be. Wadeline is mature for her age. She's very responsible. So she's going to do things that, you know, grown adults do and for her age. But I also saw a side to her of how supportive and loving she is with her family and how important her family is to her. And so I got to know that about her.
I wanted to help support my family. You know, I know that my family wasn't gonna be able to support themselves up north. Well, some of them, because it's also very expensive over there. So I'm like, with what I can get from school, like the funds that I'm getting, my housing funds and my meal money, I did put all of that toward my family for the whole first year, and everything I was getting was on strict budget. I was not spending outside of what I needed to spend except for rent and electricity, just the necessities. So I really held it down for a whole year for them, and because I don't think I would be able to perform if they were not in a decent situation where they could be taken care of.
She takes her responsibility seriously, and she's selfless, and she does for others a lot. She'll do it before she does it for herself. What makes her different? I think she has an incredible focus. Obviously, she has a gift to run, but she doesn't take any of it for granted. She works really hard, and she does what champions do.
All right, Chance, you second one?
Coach Graham is just, I think like he loves when someone loves to work hard, you know. He doesn't want to like yell at you to work hard. And I think because I'm self-motivated to get to work, I think we make a great team. It's a tough love situation, but he will definitely go the distance for me. And I'm very grateful to have him as a coach.
She's physically talented. I think her biggest talent is her mental toughness, her competitive spirit, and her willing to be coachable and truly put up with the trouble and pain and the demand of practice. It's one of the hardest races in track and field, women 400, and Wadeline worked so hard. She came to a program running 52.8. That was her personal best. And in 1 year, she dropped to 49.6, got fourth in the World Championship, and ran the ninth fastest time in the history in the United States. So it was special. But to continue to take it to the next level, I keep reminding her that your biggest asset is your mental toughness. So that's one thing. That's our superpower. We cannot compromise it.
So the biggest thing with COVID-19 was that I feel like I was really on track, and I was just really ready to I felt like I was ready to just get it done, and I mean get the gold.
This whole thing about the pandemic was really crazy because for Waddling as a professional and for the USC track and field team, as well as the track and field community at the NCAA level or professional level at the US, Waddling won the won the US Indoor Championship.
And then boom, COVID happened, and even though I was still training, but because I was not competing, that really took a toll on me, and it kind of slowed me down a bit. And going to Europe, and I don't like to say that, but I lost the first race because my body kind of forgot what it felt like to race with other people. And even though I had trials on the track, but it was different. Training-wise, COVID didn't really affect my training, but it did affect how my body got used to competing.
Arms wide and push back. Set.
So going into the new season with my hopes and dreams, I think dreams are just that's all it is if you don't work towards it. And I do come out here every day to accomplish what I want to accomplish. And I know I say that a lot. So with the Olympics ahead, when I get there, I want to get the gold. And I don't just want to get the gold. I want to do more than that because I want to leave a legacy behind. And I want to do something that's never been done before. And I know I'm like all smiley and whatever, but when I'm on the track and it's the time to go, I will go. And I'm going to do it like it's a piece of cake. Well, cookies and milk.
And now for more girl power. Let's visit a training center that prepares our young ladies for leadership roles in the community.
Girl Scouts is the largest girl leadership organization in the world. It's an organization that started in 1912 by our founder, Juliet Gordon Low. She was 51 years old in 1912. If you think about that, that's before women had the right to vote.
I got in Girl Scouts because I was a Girl Scout. I actually did brownies when I was younger, up until cadets. I love Girl Scouts. We got to do different experiences, we had fun. And then when I became a mom and found out I was having a girl, we definitely wanted to have her in Girl Scouts. She started in kindergarten, she also had special needs, and I felt like there's a place for her in Girl Scouts. So I got involved and I knew I had to be a leader. So that way she can have her needs met and go do camping and just different experiences without feeling like she couldn't do anything.
Well, I wanted to join Girl Scouts because I felt that it empowered me to do a lot more stuff, and it helps you set goals and socialize.
Girl Scouts has this super cool citizen science journey, and so the concept there is that they work with scientists and they're actually helping scientists collect data, and they're posting that data and monitoring it. And so we have started, like I started doing all this stuff because, personally, because of Girl Scouts.
Our troop, we are very active. We have our girls going camping. Our girls they did SeaWorld and they loved it. They had a good time doing that. Our girls have gone to amusement parks. They've gone different things. Also in the community, our girls have done pet drives, food drives. They've worked with the senior citizens in Chapin.
This is the Kathy Novinger Girl Scout Leadership Center, and it was named after a beloved woman in our community that has since passed from cancer. But it was kind of a rally around her, and that's what the building is named after, a phenomenally strong woman in our community.
I think it's important for there to be a central location where the girls can come and do all of these activities that they need to do. I mean, it's hard to find space for us, you know, as leaders, to run things, and so this gives the council, I think, you know, a nice focus. And there's so much stuff here that is geared to the stuff that we do.
So this is a phenomenal, this is a creation of love. You know, it started as a seed of an idea, you know, that Girl Scouts of South Carolina Mountains to Midlands, we wanted a state-of-the-art leadership center for girls and for our community. But it's also a community center for Columbia and for really our entire council. We have girls, volunteers that come from all over the council, but also members of our community can come and they can have access to this space too, because we wanted it to be used by other people as well when the girls aren't using it.
Sometimes kids, when you're a little different, you have a hard time making friends and keeping friends. So just having that Girl Scout troop, she knows that she has 20 other girls that wherever she is, hey, come sit next to me. Hey, we're gonna go do this. Come on and enjoy this. And so she just feels like she has a friend. She has no siblings at home, so Girl Scouts is everything to her. Those are her sisters.
When I think about Girl Scouts, I think of a couple things. One is that it is delivered by our volunteers. They are just incredible women that deliver Girl Scouting, and we couldn't do it without them.
I've learned a lot of things. It's impossible to count all the things that I've learned.
Next, a walk on the wild side. Learning to live with wildlife can sometimes be, well, challenging, but it doesn't have to be. Carolina Wildlife is helping animals in need get back to their natural habitats, while at the same time educating the public as to why our delicate balance with nature is so very important.
Carolina Wildlife is a nonprofit. Our mission is to rescue, rehabilitate, and release all native wildlife. We will intake any animals that are injured, orphaned, or just misplaced, and we will assess them, help you re-nest if they're healthy babies, or intake them if they're injured or ill. And then our goal is to get them through the rehabilitation system, get them eating, get them surviving on their own, and then we re-release them. We accept any kind of wildlife found in South Carolina. That includes owls, songbirds, small animals. We take in reptiles, we take in pretty much anything that you can find out in South Carolina. So the first thing you want to do if you have an injured animal is call us. We can help guide you through how to contain the animal, how to transport it safely, or visit our website. We have great tips there for how to assess if an animal is really in danger or not. Once you do have the animal contained, the best thing to do is put it in a safe, quiet, and dark place away from animals and people until you can bring it to us. Never feed or give water to any wild animal, even if you think that it's very thirsty or hungry, because oftentimes that does more damage to wild animals. Carolina Wildlife uses a ton of volunteers. We have a huge network of people that help from animal care to transportation to just education and fundraising. So we have a huge support from the community involving everything here. We do outreach programs where we'll go to different schools in the community, and we can do short or long programs from just meeting animals and learning about them and our native South Carolina ecosystem, all the way to learning about really cool topics that these animals can teach us, like adaptations for living in different environments and how these guys are really important to our ecosystem. We had a record-breaking year last year where we intook 600 opossums. So this is Nyx, N-Y-X, named after the goddess of darkness, because she's nocturnal, just like all other opossums. She hangs out when it's dark. She came to us last year. She is still a juvenile. She joined us as a very small orphaned baby with an eye infection. And unfortunately, we weren't able to treat that infection well enough to save the eye. And so even though she's healthy now, she can't actually see out of this right eye here. That means she can't be released since, again, the goddess of darkness needs both eyes to see in the dark. Even though she has these awesome long whiskers called vibrissae that help her see when there's not a lot of light, she also needs those eyes. So instead of releasing her, she lives with us, and she goes out to schools and events and lets people meet her and learn about opossums by coming up close with her. Opossums, right here in North America, are a group of animals that are marsupials. So these guys have a marsupium, that's a little pouch on their belly, and that's the same as kangaroos and koalas and wallabies. It is Didelphis virginiana, it's our Virginia opossum. That's the only type of opossum you'll find here. And just like all the other marsupials, they carry their babies around in that pouch. So after 2 weeks, mommy gives birth to all these little tiny babies. They crawl into her pouch and they stay in there drinking milk for as long as they need to until they're big enough to come on out and start hanging on mom. Once they are big enough to get off of mom, about the size of a dollar bill, tail to tip, these guys start roving on their own. But until then, they are literally hanging out inside mom's pouch or on her back the entire time. Opossums are omnivores. Kind of like most humans, they eat meat and plant. So that means as they're going out in the forest, they're eating things like decaying animals, old leaf litter, and that keeps the entire ecosystem clean. They're basically garbage men. They're out there making sure that things don't pile up and create lots of gross bacteria. On top of that, they eat a lot of insects. So humans are susceptible to diseases like Lyme disease and Chagas, and that can be transmitted to us via ticks. Ticks are plentiful in the summertime, and our friends the opossums eat thousands of them every season. So they are actually keeping us safe and healthy by removing sources of bacteria and reducing the amount of Lyme disease that we're exposed to. So we should be very, very thankful for these guys. Oftentimes people are concerned when there's opossums in their yard, but there are a few reasons you should be very happy they're in your yard. First of all, these guys don't transmit a lot of diseases. They're actually immune to rabies for the most part. Their body temperature's too low to host the virus, so you're not gonna have rabid opossums in your yard. Second of all, they're immune to a lot of venoms from different venomous snakes around here. So if you see a venomous snake in your yard, there is a chance that that opossum that you also saw is gonna make that his dinner. Opossums are often painted as very aggressive, attack animals, but opossums' best defense is to look scary. They will rarely, if ever, charge at you. The most that they'll do is maybe open their mouths very wide and hiss. They do have big old mouths full of the most teeth of any land mammal in North America, 50 pretty sharp serrated teeth. But these teeth are just for show and mostly for crunching through things like decaying bones and leaf litter. They use these teeth to crack open roots, nuts, berries. So they may look scary, but it's mostly for getting through things that are tough to eat. Now, opossums do have a second form of self-defense. This is kind of what most people know, playing possum. They will go into a temporary state of catatonia, so they're very stiff and they can't move, and they start secreting a very stinky green juice out of their bottoms. This smell, combined with not moving, makes it look like they're dead. And for most predators that would maybe eat an opossum, they don't want to eat something that's rotting. So either they look really scary or they look really dead. And both of these techniques help them stay safe out in the wild. Possums are oftentimes seen as a danger to our outdoor pets. In reality, we get many opossums that are hurt by those pets. Opossums rarely, if ever, will attack your animals. They're a bigger risk than your pets are. But of course, if you leave food out for your cats or whatnot, possums are gonna smell it, find it, and be pretty excited to have free food. So you have to understand that if there is food outside, there's a chance a possum's gonna find it. So humans are able to coexist with any species of animal here in South Carolina, whether it's something that we're scared of, like a lot of people fear venomous snakes or opossums. They all serve a purpose. If we leave them alone, they leave us alone. And the easiest thing we can do is give animals space. So as long as we respect our wildlife friends, we will keep our ecosystem healthy, and we will be healthy because of that.
For additional stories about our state and more details on the stories you've just seen, do visit our website at palmettoscene.org. And of course, don't forget to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SCETV, #PalmettoScene. We leave you tonight with a segment from our ETV digital series, Go For It, produced by Tabitha Safdie, as it takes us on a fun-filled trip down the Congaree River. For Palmetto Scene, I'm Beryl Dakers. Good night, stay strong, and thanks for watching.
Y'all, today we are in one of the coolest places in the entire state of South Carolina, Congaree National Park. There is so much that's special about Congaree. Not only is it South Carolina's only national park, but it is also home to the largest concentration of champion trees in North America. The trees here are some of the largest of their species, some even reaching the heights of a 17-story building, which is pretty big. And I've never been here before, so I'm super pumped to get to explore today. Let's go for it. This is John Manchester. He is a ranger here at Congaree National Park and is going to be helping us out today. John, can you tell me what is so unique about Congaree National Park and why would people want to experience it in South Carolina?
Well, not only is it the last remaining really large intact section of old growth bottomland hardwood, something you really don't find anywhere else anymore, but it's also a wilderness area 25 minutes outside the city of Columbia and 2 hours away from Greenville, Spartanburg, or Charleston, and you really don't find areas as remote seeming as this without actually having to drive 2 hours away from a major city.
Yeah, you definitely feel like you're in another world, for sure. I've heard that one of the coolest ways to experience Congaree is actually on the water. Is that right?
That is true. Yeah, you get to actually get back into places that you don't really get to see on our foot trails. So you can really experience true wilderness if you're out on the water in a kayak or canoe.
Awesome. So do you think we could get out and paddle for a little bit?
I think that should be something we can do today.
Awesome. Let's go for it.
Those are barred owls. They do make some funky sounds sometimes.
Yeah, they sound like monkeys. Can you hear those cicadas?
Cicadas can be deafening sometimes here in the summer, but it's one of those just iconic summer sounds.
Yeah. This is literally the most outdoorsy I have ever been in my life.
And once you get out here, it's a little easier.
A little close to you.
Oh, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. People ask about, alligators and snakes. Most of our snakes are non-venomous and they don't want to hurt anybody. And even the venomous snakes, they're not gonna really be a danger to us unless we're messing with them. Alligators, we are in their range, but we don't typically see many here in Congaree.
That's a spider. Ooh, that's a really big spider.
We do have some spiders in here too. This is the season for our golden silk orb weavers. They're very large spiders, but they're gentle ladies.
I mean, this is kind of wild.
Oh, no! So Devin, in my 7 years I've been here, you were the first person to go in the water.
Well, folks, I fell in. My ranger said that it was the first time in 7 years that anybody has fallen in. So I've taken that title. It will go down in infamy. And you know, if you ask my friends, my family, anybody who knows me, they would say Devin is not an outdoorsy person. And yet, today, I had a lot of fun. Congaree is seriously spectacular. It's so peaceful. So even if you are an indoorsy person and maybe wouldn't consider this type of experience as a vacation, I would absolutely encourage you to go for it. No regrets. Maybe don't fall out of the boat, but give it a shot. It's absolutely worth it.